Hello and welcome on today's webinar. My name is Paul Piskosz and I am pre-sales engineer at Storware. Guys, hello, and at the beginning, please confirm, can you hear me, can you see me, and of course, can you see my screen where my presentation is almost ready to be present? I can see screen your chat on the right side, so I'm waiting just for the confirmation and we can move forward. Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, that's perfect. So let's move forward to our topic. Why Google Cloud need protection? Yeah, this is a very hard question, which I need to cover on today's session. But firstly, let's talk about our company, Storware. Let's start with the three major people. I mean, Mr. Sobieszczanski, I mean, Mr. Mączka, and Mr. Kubacki. Their vision brings us here where are we today. But firstly, our timeline. We started at 2014 with one, no, maybe two products, vProtect and Codo for endpoints. One to protect files on user desktop, second one to protect KVM virtual machine. And as you can see on the slide, we evolve and we are here right now. And on our features which should be present in 2023, one of them is Google Workspace support. So let's move forward. Our color is blue, so we are almost everywhere around the globe. Over 3,000 clients and having only one solution. You can find us in biggest vendors like Dell, Micro Focus, Catalogic. And of course, this is our distribution channel. So in Poland, exclusive network, but also tech data, but from around the globe, IBM, Dell, or Boston IT. Our brands fully certified. Every new feature are totally tested and certified by the biggest. So let me point Microsoft, let me point Dell here, let me point Nutanix. Technology Alliance, yes, we are evolving every day, almost every day. Every month we are adding new and new features to our solution. Recently, we added Rubrik, added Varsabi, and for example, Backblaze. And here is our main architecture where you can easily see what Storware can do. On the left side, you can see supported platforms. It's divided into several sections, virtual environments, containers, cloud, storage provider, application, and endpoints. But on the right side, you can see every places where you can store your data. It's also divided into several sections like object storage, file system, and enterprise backup provider. If we go deep dive, our architecture is fully scalable. There are two major components. One is the server. Server we can call a heart. Here, administrator is using web-wide to manage to operate everything what's going inside. Node, at the other hand, is basically speaking data mover. Their job is to connect to hypervisor of your choice, collect data, and store it to a backup destination. Also, our architecture is fully scalable, so you can create one big node inside your environment, or you can create many smaller nodes, and there will be managed by one storage backup and recovery server. Major features which I like to point in this scenario. Let me start with file level and container level. We support incremental and full backups. Storware backup and recovery can work as a snapshot management. Also, you can protect your own, application using our generic mechanism. Also, you can use Storware backup and recovery to protect Microsoft resources like user mailboxes, OneDrive, for Business, SharePoint, and Teams channel. Thanks to continuous data protection, you can protect user files and folders. We support Windows and Mac OS. Here, I also want to point one more thing on the right side, synthetic backup, using the XFS or thanks to data domain integration. So, our main topic, why you should protect Google instances. I think answer should be simple. To avoid human mistake. I'm thinking about overwrite data, but also about delete that data. But also to protect against malware, against ransomware. Also, it could be happened if there will be something wrong with the cloud infrastructure. But what is most important here, to have a control over where and how your backups will be kept. Yeah, old but good rule is work there. So rule 3-1. Let me just remind you how it should be done. So free copy in 2 different media, and 1 copy should be stored offsite. And for this presentation, I prepare an example scenario, how you can use Storware backup and recovery to protect virtual machines running inside Google platform. As you can see on the right side, there is a diagram which pointing you virtual machine running on the Google platform. There is a Storware node and Storware server, and here are your options where you can store your data. You can store directly to the Google Cloud Storage, but also you can use other vendors which I pointed at the beginning. So, for example, Wasabi, for example, Backblaze, but also Microsoft Azure. And if you need to keep your copy offsite, you can always store your data to the local storage. Thanks to our integration with enterprise backup providers, for example, TSM. And thanks for that, you can also use TSM to store a copy to the tapes. So that was the theory. So let's move forward directly to the live demonstration. Okay, let me log into Storware backup and recovery solution. Okay, when you log as an administrator, you will see the main dashboard on which you can see the, for example, protection level. Yeah, this is my demonstration instance, so protection level isn't that hard, but my last success rate in 24 hours is almost perfect. On the right side, you can easily see capacity of the storages. So as many different backup destinations which you can add in the Storware backup and recovery, you will easily see the capacity each of it. And at the bottom, activity for the last backups and for the last restores. So if you want to protect your Google Cloud Platform, firstly, you need to go into virtual environments. Here in Infrastructure tab, you need to choose hypervisor managers and use a create button. From the list, you need to find Google Cloud Platform and provide as little information as is possible. So your organization ID and access key to that organization. Then you need to choose a proper strategy. Right now, we support two different strategies. Both are depend on disk attachment. One is limited with the only full snapshot will be stored in the backup destination. The second one is the change block tracking. Here we compare here we compare two snapshots between them and store only the blocks which are changed between backups. I already did that. So next step is very simple. You need to synchronize our solution with your Google Cloud Platform. Okay, request has been submitted. That's perfect. So let me extend for you Workflow Console. This is a very handy tool for administrator where in the live view, you can see a progress on every task which is scheduled, which is waiting in the queue, or like in mine scenario, which is running right now. Let's wait for the finish. Okay, live demonstration. Oh, perfect. All green, so we can move forward. This synchronization allows me to see every instance which is running inside my Google Cloud Platform. So basically speaking, we need to go into instance view, and here is a list of virtual machines running inside my Google. So let's do a quick example. Let's take this one and basically speaking, try do a backup. Try, yes, a good word here because error appear. This is a good error which inform administrator about create a policy first, then add virtual machine inside, and then you can protect that virtual machine. Why? Let me take you directly to backup SLA and I will explain that situation. I prepared for this presentation this one, so let me extend it for you. And here in the backup SLA creation, you can decide about several things. Let's start at the beginning. Of course, the name is here. You can enable, disable, schedule. You can use auto removal if you, for example, delete a virtual machine running in the Google platform and using auto synchronization. And yes, after that, we will be removing by automate that virtual machine from the policy. But if the machine is already backed, the backup will be stay on the backup destination. Auto assignment, yes, I mentioned just about that. It's a very handy tool for administrator because every new added virtual machine with the proper label or the proper name will be by automate added to the policy to be protected. Second way to adding virtual machines, basically speaking, point and click. Here's the same list which you've seen after synchronization, and you can add one by one as many virtual machines as you want. Very handy tool is using a project to see only virtual machine running inside dedicated project. So don't hesitate to use filters when you are creating a backup SLAs. For mine, for the presentation reason, I already prepared one, so let me stick with that. Okay, team, that was an easy part. So let's start with the harder one, rule. Rule is the place where you as administrator need to decide about several things. First of them, where you want to store your backup. And as you can see on my list, I prepare several options. So I can store directly into file system, which is created on the node, which is running on the Google Cloud platforms. And here in that scenario, you can use a synthetic file system and combining, which allow you to use technology incremental forever. Very, very handy tool. But also, if you want to do a store secondary copy somewhere else, maybe on the local, maybe on the another vendor's S3, like in my scenario, maybe Wasabi, don't hesitate and use it here. So first of all, where you want to store your backup. Second, how long the backup should be stored. So here are also retention settings. In case of a synthetic file system, we support number of days and number of version. Also, how often backup should be done. I prepared two schedules, one for the full backup every Saturday at 6 p.m. and in another days of the week, I will be doing incremental backup. So I need to add one more thing in the rule creation. Because if you want, and if your security policy require that, you can add another backup destination in one single role. And in that demonstration, let's use something different. I pointed twice Wasabi, so let me use it for the demonstration. And as you can see, I will be storing in the same time in two different places. One copy will be landed on the file system, but secondary copy with totally different retention settings can be stored somewhere else. And in that scenario, good option is to use another thing, which is synchronization between primary and secondary backup destination. But that's not all. Storware allow you to customize fully where your backup should be stored. So let me call very quickly rule 1 just for the demonstration and close it for a second. I can always, to one backup SLA, add as many rules as I want. Let me create another rule. Let me call it rule number 2. Perfect. And just for the demonstration, let me use Google Cloud as a storage. And here, in the same region, I will be store only fulls, but I want to increase retention for 90 days. And that will be the fulls, 90 days with and 90 here, but version will be relevant, so I will be go bigger here. And I just want to store only fulls there. So my job is pretty simple. I need to create a new schedule. Let's call it the last Friday in the month. I will select every month, so the secondary copy from the last Friday the month will be stored somewhere else, just for the safety reason. And let's call it full to Google Cloud Storage. Perfect. I can easily custom my hour. Maybe midnight is a good hour here. Perfect. So as you can see, I just created with you in several steps new schedule. I attach it directly to the new rule in the one policy. So that virtual machine, which I already selected here, will be stored in two different places thanks to the backup SLA. All right, let me cancel this one. Yeah, I know this is a demonstration. So my policy is prepared. Let's try do a backup. How to do it? Very simple. You need to go into instance view and from the list select the machine which you want to protect. Also, I advise you to use filters to better view. I usually using this one to see only virtual machines which are in the specific policy. As you can see, this is mine, which I already added in the PP demo policy. So let me try do a backup. Doing a backup or using a backup on demand You as administrator can always start a full, so the new chain of backup, but you can always continue chain of backup using the incremental backup type. Perfect. Task has been submitted. So next step, extend the workflow console and basically speaking, waiting for the end. Let's just wait for only several percent of the process of the progress, and we can move forward. Meanwhile, do you have any question? So feel free to use chat. I can see it, and I will be glad to answer it. Okay. Yeah, using doing a backup, yeah, perfect. There is a progress. Yeah, where I was, yeah, doing a backup, you need to be patient. Of course, during the backup and during the restore process. Perfect. The progress is running, so we can move forward. Team, everything which you can see here in the instance view is fully clickable. If you want to go directly to and modify backup SLA, you can use that icon and you will be moved to the backup SLA edition. But what is, I think, more important for every administrator is go deep dive into a single virtual machine, because here you can find crucial information. So let's start from the beginning. Which node is protecting that virtual machine, which policy is assigned to protect that virtual machine, but also where the machine is located, in which project, which flavor is used, and which can be crucial in the protection of Google Cloud Platform, in which region and in which zone that machine exists. Below are information with statistic, like daily activity, but it can be also important for you, backup statistic, like size, like time, and you can see how long the backup was done, and of course the transfer rate according to the type of backup which was done. And here you can easily see where the full backup was done and where the incremental was performed. Same story according to the restore. So the time of restoration and of course the transfer depending of the restore type. Below are more information for administrator. So how many backups are stored in which backup destination, backup history, and as you can see, every success, even if the backup is in the process, and even if the backup was finished with the failure, like in this scenario when I canceled the backup task. So the information for you why the backup was done properly appear over there. If you go further, you will see the same value on the restore history. And here are some tries before the presentation. And I achieved something from the Google where the service wasn't available. So yeah, this is also an answer for the question. It could happen where you don't have access to your entities running in the Google Cloud platforms, like me in this scenario. Further, You will see the drives which are attached to that virtual machine. And yes, if you need, you can easily exclude drives from the backup. Okay, let's see a progress over there. Perfect. The backup is done with the great success. So yeah, we can move forward. Let me go one more time to the instance view. Use filters again. Find virtual machine which is protected thanks to backup SLA. And backup is done, but in this case, we need to recover something or recover the whole virtual machine from the backup. How to do it? Let me present, because you have several options to do that. Let's start from the end. You can always mount dedicated image from the backup destination. As you can see in the screen, there are several copies which are stored in my synthetic file system. I can use full copy to recover or synthetic one. And as you can see the date, so the point in time, basically speaking, appear over there. Idea of the mount is that the image, the copy, will be mounted to our node in his staging space, and you as administrator have options to browse granularly files and folders and download them directly from the node from this specific part. I prepared that one before the presentation, so let me cancel it, and I will take you directly to the tab Mounted Backups, where you can easily see a mounted image. So now, as I mentioned before, I can go into details, and using a browse button, I can easily see every file, every folder, which is inside that virtual machine. And if it's needed, simple as that. I can point one folder more than one and download it to my personal PC directly from the node from his staging space. But I believe for everyone, more exciting part will be restore virtual machine directly into hypervisor. So in this case, into Google Cloud Platform. So one more time, instance view, filters, policy, and let's point this one, and let's try do a restore. So doing a restore directly to hypervisor, I have also two options. One is restore to file system. It's very similar to the mount. There also is a chance. It's option. The copy from the backup destination appear in the node in his staging space, but in that case, there will be the rough image, which can be used to manually deploy that image into hypervisor. Second way is restore directly to the hypervisor manager, to the Google Cloud Platform. So let's try do it together. And now, during the restore part, you will see 5-step wizard. First step is pretty similar. You need to point in time or the backup destination from which you are going to restore that virtual machine. So let's try to restore from the last one. Then you are pointing hypervisor manager, so mine Google Cloud Platforms. And here you are several options to choose. First of them, in which region you want to restore that virtual machine. And of course, according to the region, in which zone. So let me try go into Europe Central B here. And of course, in which project that machine should be restored. So let me use this one. I have access to this one. And I believe also very handy options for you, rename that virtual machine during the restoration. So this is the original name. Let me add something at the end. 555. Perfect. Next. Second step. Now you need to decide about the storage. If you leave that flag enabled, the storage will be used as in the default. But if you want to rename, exclude, or change a storage, you can always do it. Do it directly here. I will use the default option over there. So let me go next. Now networking. Same story like in the case of storages, you can always go with the default settings, but if you want to attach another network to the newly recovered virtual machine in your Google Cloud platforms, you can do it directly here. In my case, there is only one option, so not much choice. Now, advanced tab. Here, you need to decide about the flavor, but also you can always replace the old one or broken one, a virtual machine on the Google Cloud platform with the fully operating, so working from the backup directly from the backup directly to the Google Cloud platform. So the flag delete if already exists is that for you. And I believe that's all. So quick look on the summary and restore button. Okay. Always use workflow console to see a progress. In that case, it started to run perfect. First task in that job is already done. The progress appear. That's perfect. So let's wait together one more minute to the success. Okay, import is already started. That's good. Okay, and just to be sure, my machine appear in the mine project. Let me very quickly refresh page over there. Let me confirm if you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Perfect. For sure, I'm set the GA project, and I think shortly after that machine appear here. Yeah, we're almost there. That's good. I'm looking on the chat and there are still no questions. Okay. So that means everything is clear for you. That's good. Destination options. Sure, why not? Yes, thanks for that question. Of course, if you want to use the synthetic file system, you can always create that one on our node, but don't forget about the virtual data domain. You can always use virtual data domain and use their synthetic as a backup destination. It's totally and fully integrated with the Storware backup and recovery. Basically speaking, you are just adding virtual data domain as a file system and pointing it when you are creating the backup SLI. So in that case, you can use technology which is called incremental forever. Perfect. Meanwhile, our restore is done with the green light. So just to be no problem, Rob. Thanks for the question again. So meanwhile, our backup restore, I'm sorry, our restore is done. Just to be sure that the machine appear in mine project, let me refresh page again. Yeah, something with the fives at the end. That's a new machine which I already created from the backup destination is ready to use. So I'm looking for the time. Okay, several more minutes left. So let me describe for you two more things. Recovery plans. I already present you how to do a recover, so restore on demand. So you need to point virtual machine and let's call it that way, fill the wizard with the proper settings. But Storware and recovery is a tool which should help administrator in their normal things. So you can be prepared for the disaster. You can pretend what is going to happen. And thanks to recovery plan, you can do it directly here. So let me describe and point what you can see here. So first of all, you need to create a policy inside which you are going to, which you need to create a rule. And here, simple as that, you need to fill a gaps in the wizard. But major idea is that to create, to point which machines are crucial for you. Of course, that machine should be in the backup destination. In my scenario, I will point this one just for the demonstration. And now you can decide if you want to use a schedule or not. With the schedule, and I hope you know where I'm going right now with this in this point. In the schedule attached, we will be restoring, for example, every day or every Monday, like in this scenario, that specific virtual machine to the Google Cloud Platform, just for the test, just to be sure if that machine is backed up properly. So if you can restore, yeah, it should be backed up properly. So next step is pretty simple. Now there are not much option about the point in time, because here you need to decide last successful copy or last copy doesn't matter. Is it finished with the success or is it finished with the fail? And here is not also, there is no also a choice to point a backup destination. Here our database know where the last copy exists. Could be in the file system synthetic, could be on the virtual data domain, could be on the Google Cloud storage. Yeah, our database know where the last copy exists, and this copy will be restored by automate or if disaster happened. I will present that shortly. So almost exact things to cover. So hypervisor, manager, region, zone, project, storage, and of course flavor, name as well. If you are going to use recovery plan just for test if the backup is done properly, I always encourage you to use this flag. Delete if machine already exists. Basically speaking, we'll be replacing the old one with the new one from the backup. If you go with save, you can just wait for the schedule to execute. But as I mentioned, you can be prepared for the disaster. Using the recovery plan and pointing which machine should be recovered if disaster happened, your job is pretty simple. Restore, recover, Storware backup and recover. So create the new server, a new node in specific region, replace Storware database, and go directly to recovery plan. Because thanks to one click, you can execute the whole recovery plan in, as I mentioned, in one click. Let me look on the chat. George, thanks for the question. Yes, that will be all that is on our roadmap and will be added to the Storware backup and recovery. Thank you. Okay, Jack, this is a good question about the firewall. So, node need to be installed, so need to be created in region which you are going to protect. About the ports, I will back to you with the answer because I cannot recall from the memory. Sorry for that. All right. I believe from my side, that's all. So I'm waiting for the question right now. I'm looking for the chat. I have seen already several one, which many thanks for that. And if you have more, please, it's a good time for that question. Okay. So, in the name of Storware and myself, thanks team for your presence here. Okay, there is a question. Oh, okay. And I hope we can see each other on the next session. Have a nice one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.